Hello, everybody. So, this is chapter 15, day 15, and one chapter a day in the book of Proverbs. We're reading out of the King James Version. Let's just jump right into it. So, the first of the chapter, the verses 1 through 6, is about the eyes of the Lord. And it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools pours out foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good." I want to stop there for a second. I just want to go over verses 1 where it says, "A soft answer turns away the wrath, but the grievous words stir up anger." So what I have is anger is removed by a gentle response, but a heated response fuels the flame. And then here in verse 3, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, behold the evil and the good. And I just said God doesn't sleep. You ever hear people say God doesn't sleep? This just goes to show you that God does not sleep. You know, his eyes is everywhere, every place. No matter if you're in a corner, in a closet, God sees everything. He even sees stuff that is not even visible to the eye. Like for instance, God knows what's in your heart. Thoughts that's in your mind, your imagination. God knows it all. Like he can see the things that's even internal, not even physically, the ones that's not even like physically visible. Like God can see it all. Let's move on to verse 4. "A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness turns, therefore, is a breach in the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but he that regards reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble." All right, so now verses 7 through 9 is about the lips of the wise. "The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish does not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is abomination upon the Lord, and he loves him, but he loves him that follows him after righteousness." So I have for verse 8, um, where it says, "The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight." So what I have is that the best that the wicked can offer, God religiously is completely rejected. So like, say like wicked people, they go and say, "I'm about to go sacrifice a lamb." Back then it was lambs and animals, or say someone say, "I'm gonna go and donate X amount of dollars to the church," or whatever someone decides to offer God. If their heart is not right and they're wicked, God don't care if it was $1 billion, he will reject it. So let's move on now. Verses 10 through 17 is about the merry heart. The correction is grievous upon him that forsakes the way, and he that hates reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more then the hearts of the children of men? A scorner loves not one that reproves him, neither will he go unto the wise. A merry heart makes a cheerful count, countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of the fools feeds on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of merry heart has a continual feast. Right here. "Better is little with the fear of the Lord than treasure and trouble therewithin. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred within." I want to stop there for a second. I want to go over 10 where it says, "The correction is grievous upon him that forsake the way, and he that hates reproof shall die. So I said, when you are wrong, take reproof from the Lord, and do not allow pride and ego to stop you. Remember Proverbs chapter 3, verse 12, where it goes on to tell us that reproof is a sign of God's love. Then I want to go on to verse 16, where it says, better is little with the Lord, with the better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasures and trouble within. So even when you lack, I don't care if it's lack with money, lack with a car, lack with housing, clothes, wherever you are lacking, what it is saying is, better is he who has nothing than he who has everything, and he has treasure and troubles within. So we sometimes be looking at with society, especially with social media, social media influencers. People tend to gravitate to these people, and then they admire, and then like want to be like them. They end up admiring these people, and I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. But let me tell you something, it proves right here, little is better with when you fear the Lord than to have all this money, houses and cars, and have pride and ego and think you God. Some people, and not all rich people are like that, but some of them, they allow money to make their head swell, and they start to think that they're untouchable. Some of them even is so blatantly obvious that they just are just with demonic spirits. Some of them think they're God, say they're God, refer to themselves as God, and it's just an abomination. And then I want to go over verse 17, where it says, better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred is. So you at home, right? And you know money is short. Right now, the inflation on food and how food is so expensive. And right now, you can only provide a can of corned beef and maybe some rice for your family. But guess what? Y'all love each other. Y'all all under one roof. Nobody fighting. Nobody arguing. Better is you than the person that sit over here got Thanksgiving every day, Sunday dinners every day. But guess what? They're underneath their roof is nothing but hatred, fighting, arguing, yelling, just tearing each other down, backstabbing, two-facing, gossiping. Which one would you want? Would you want the rice and the corned beef, or would you want the tomahawk steak? But meanwhile, you got to worry about somebody talking about you, tearing you down, backstabbing you. Which one is better? I let you guys pick. So now we're going to move on to verses 18 through 22. It's about be slow to anger. A wrathful man stirs up strife, and he that is slow to anger please strife. The way of the slothful man is an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son makes a glad father, and a foolish man despises his mother. Fully is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walks upright. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but the multitude of counselors, they are established. So let's stop right there, and I'm going to go through verse 18, where it says, a wrathful man stirs up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeases strife. Meaning that that's basically saying that control your anger. That's something that I pray about. That's something I have to meditate on, because I know that I'm like quick to fly off, like especially when you messing with me, or I'm tired, or I've just had enough. And that's just something we all just need to know. Like, you have to get control of yourself, you know. The next thing is verse 19. The way of the slothful man is an edge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. So what I have is the lazy man multiplies his own obstacles. So the lazy man multiplies his own obstacles. Meaning when you're lazy, right? Like they speak about a slothful man throughout this whole entire book. We first read about it when we were reading about the ant that didn't need a self-starter, the ant that didn't need nobody looking over his shoulder, got up every day, harvest, did what he had to do, got his plants, and then went off and, he just had a feast. He had his cup overflowed. He got up every day and he worked hard. He didn't make no excuse. He wasn't lazy. He got up and he did what he had to do. And now here it talks about the slothful man as well. And it says basically, to summarize it, that he multiplies his own obstacles, meaning that he makes it harder for himself. The more lazy he is, you're gonna make it harder for yourself. But the righteous man moves freely down life's road. And then verse 22, without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. So what we're saying is always seek counsel. And what they mean by counsel is people who are of good judgment. People who are not going to lead you astray. People who are full of God, full of the Holy Spirit. Somebody that is going to lead you in the right path. Always seek them. Never ever feel like you're too smart or you're too good to ask questions or ask for advice or take advice. Never ever ever let your pride or ego get in the way. And all right, verses 23 through 27 is about a word spoken in due season. A man has joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? The way of life is above to the wise, and as above the way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubles his own house, but he that hates shall live. He who hates gifts shall live. And that one always stuck with me. Verse 27 always stuck with me. And it just always just reminds me, be quick to give before taking. Be quick to lend that hand before pulling somebody down. Now we're gonna move on to verses 28 through 33. And this is about the prayer of righteous. The heart of righteous studies to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil. Stop there. When it says the heart of the righteous studies to answer, meaning you are going to think before you talk. Don't just blat out anything or react on your emotion, say things you don't really mean, and then turn around and try to renege on it. A real righteous person who's full of wisdom and understanding is going to think before they open their mouth. 29. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and a good report makes the bones fat. The ear that hears the reproof of life abide among the wise. He that refuses instruction despises his own soul, but he that hears reproof gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Remember that. Before honor, before your promotion, you have to endure humility. Before your breakthrough, before God's promise, you have to endure humility. I love you guys. That was it. That was a quick one. As you can see, my eyes are so low. I am tired. I'm at work doing an overnight shift. I'm going to go ahead and just meditate on this word for the rest of the night. I hope you guys do the same. Go and just meditate, pray on it, ask for understanding if you're lacking understanding. If you need prayer, drop down in the comments what you want to be prayed for about, and we will definitely pray for you. All right, have a good day.